But there's a lot of change going on right now, and the biggest thing that I've been told is really needing to connect back to yourself. So whatever it is that's going on for you right now, it's really about that self-care. And they made me laugh because I've been saying a lot recently about Self-Care Sunday. I've been putting on my Instagram, but it's been really important. There's been a need for it with the self-care, and for me it's been so much about the flowers at this time, and buying more crystals, and really filling my space, my environment with objects, people, sounds as well that can help me. Because what I'm finding is there's a lot going on at the moment where if we don't have the right sound, if we don't have the right environment for ourselves, it can feel like almost like a jarring sensation in your life. And so what they're saying is it's that to use all the tools that you have, all the tools that are provided for you on planet Earth, that you can fill your space with. So very important that they said, to go out of your way to look at what's around you in your environment, those people, the sounds, your environment, because everything is resonating. You're hearing every frequency, you're picking up on every tone, you're picking up on everything around you, and it can have, if it's not in the same balance or alignment with where you are, can feel quite jarring, can feel a bit unsettling, can make you feel as if maybe it's not the right space or the right people, right timing. Okay, thank you, they just said. Especially timing for individuals as well. It's really important that you're aware that timing is a really big factor right now, they're saying. They're saying to move forward into anything major is really, the timing is not quite right. It's really about, to be honest, they sort of said it's about bringing it back to yourself. It's about that balance, to find balance in any shape or form which is suitable for you as an individual. So that's balance about, again, okay, they're doing this. So this is about work-life balance as well. They don't quite understand the sense of work that you do that you're not happy with, but we know as humans that you have to work because you have to provide an income, you have to provide a home, you have to eat and everything else. But what they're saying is it should always be driven by passion. It should always be driven from what the heart really truly desires, not by a position that you think that someone else would be. They're talking about subconscious mind, and they're talking about the ego and everything else. They're talking about how we try to please others by trying to do a certain role, certain position. It has to be about what you need as an individual right now, for whatever that individual needs at this particular moment. Okay. And what they're saying is, especially during this particular time, it's really about, yes, self-care. And self-care, what they mean is really about taking the time out. Need to look at the time out, because many of you are going about your business. Many of you are not taking the needed time to rest, to eat the right foods, to sleep, to spend the right time in friendships, relationships, relationship with yourself. That's the thing they're saying. The relationship with yourself is the biggest thing that they're saying to me, that the relationship with yourself is really important right now. Knowing what you truly want in your life, knowing what you truly need to have in your environment, knowing what's right for you. And what I'm hearing very clearly is that many of you are feeling lost, tired is a big one, and feeling a bit lost. They sort of just showed me like a little sailing boat in the ocean, trying to work out which direction to head in, trying to find out where you are on your journey. So they say the way that you do this is that you would step back, in a sense, you would take a moment to be still. So it's very much of looking at how your life is at this particular moment. And they're saying many of you are getting caught up in your devices. They're implying, as in, one of them just said to me, the social media aspect of not being in the present moment, of losing yourself in the social media aspect, of checking up what other people are doing, how they're living their lives. And by doing this, it makes you greatly unsatisfied with what's going on with yourself in your own life. And it tears you away from being present in the moment with what's going on for yourselves. This just showing me, it's like, you know, if you're going to sit and have a cup of tea or a coffee or whatever it is, if you're going to sit to be with that hot substance, that hot drink, to be then with that hot drink, not to be allowing your mind to go back into the past. Many of you time travel back and get lost in those thought processes, as in, what if, what happened then, could I've changed it, should I've done this, should I've done that, and you get lost on your journey. And what I'm hearing very clearly right now is really about bringing you back to this moment. The reason they're saying this also is about being in the moment will allow you really to connect to your higher self, to your soul talk, to your soul journey, to really what is going on for you right now. Okay, thank you. They just said many of you get distracted by past thoughts. Many of you get distracted thinking, I should be doing something, or I should have done this, or whatever. And by doing that, you're wasting your energy. I've just heard that when you do this, you take your energy to somewhere else, you know, a relationship that's failed, or home environment or location, or the course you should have studied, or the person that you should have gone out with or married, or whatever it is, that you get caught up, and there's this energy that gets wasted in these relationships. There's this energy that acts like a drama, turmoil, and you then hold it and carry it in your cellular base of your body. And so then there becomes these more layers of yourself that then over time, it's like with the thank you, they just showed me like a painted door. Oh, and then one of them was just sort of said a bit like you'd call it, is it chipwood? The wallpaper that we have on the wallpaper, and I think back in the 70s or 80s, I have no idea, where there was this wallpaper that you'd put on the wall and it had little chips of wood in it. God, who invented that was crazy. But what they're saying is it's very much where a difficult wallpaper, trying to strip it back. It's like that's one of those past dramas or traumas that you've had in your life. And you know, some of you try to, they just said, some of you try to paint over it to pretend it's not there, or try to make it look prettier, and it's not, it's still there. And then, oh gosh, they're saying this, it's like some have painted like real glossed over it, so when you come to strip it back, it's even harder than it was before. But they're really implying about stripping back problems and layers of yourself, and then looking at the echo effect of this that stays within internally until then it's released. And they just showed me like a butterfly sort of being released, to being allowed to spread its wings to fly away. So what they're saying is that to work with being in the moment is more about, yes, the self-care of individuals, it's very important at this time, but also about checking in with yourself on a regular basis and looking at really about what it is that you need, not so much about others around you, but about what you need. Because unless you are in that place that can really offer and take care of yourself, you are no good to others. And yet many of your humans try to do this. You take care of others, forsaking yourself. You put others first. And by doing this, you run yourself ragged, you burn yourself out. So what I'm hearing very clearly is that from higher source, from the divine light, I want to say, that they're really saying they, at this time, want to send healing, want to send words of wisdom, in the sense of they're asking you to take this time to be kind to yourself, to take a moment out. Okay, thank you, they just said, we'd be even happier if you took meditation like a daily pill that many of you do take. We would prescribe meditation, meditation, meditation. But in the meditation, we know that then through meditation, then you are finding it easier to connect with your inner soul, your higher self, and the divine light that comes through. And for many of you, it's on many different layers, many different stages of each of your progress. But they're saying this is the time now to do the work. This is the time to sit in meditation. This is the time to connect what it is that you truly want. Okay, and they also sort of said, if we could prescribe your diet for you, that would be of beneficial to you as well. They're talking about, okay, they're laughing in the sense they're saying you take great care in the fuel you put into your vehicles, your cars, but not much care about what you then tune and put into your own body. So they said substance abuse is just not alcohol or the drugs. Substance abuse is also what you feed yourself. So if you were to think that if you were someone that was to take care of somebody else and their health, you would possibly think more of what you would feed into your best friend, to your child, to whoever. But for yourself, it's more the substance abuse of overindulging in some areas which you know are not ideally suited to your vessel, your body, but yet you still continue. And then they just said that which they do not understand. But of course, who I'm connected and I'm channeling, they're not going to understand that because they're not human and they've never been human. It's higher sources that I'm connecting to. So very much the theme of this today is very much about the self-care. Very much also they said about sleep. Sleep, like newborn babies, when you learn information, when you're going through changes in your life, you need the maintenance, you need to sleep, to process the information more than you've ever done at this time. And many of you at this time will be almost seeking of information. So many may be the astral traveling in your sleep. Some of you might feel that you're having really weird dreams, and that's because you're traveling elsewhere. But what they're saying really is this evening also is very much about how they want you and wish you to have that connection to your higher self, building that relationship with your higher self. And that's when we say higher self, it's literally what they when I visualize what they show me, we go above the crown chakra and it's more like the soul star. It's here just above, and then that connects you like a bridge that bridges you to the divine light. And that sort of is almost like, I think they just said, like an umbilical cord to the divine. And with that, it's very much of how it feeds you nourishing information, but it's up to you whether you take it in or not. Let's have a look what else. Okay. So very much how they're trying to feed you information, but through your busyness, through your mind being so busy, wandering off, thinking about things that are going on, worrying, over worrying about past events, which are past events. You sometimes get lost in those past events, they just said. But it's so important to keep bringing yourself back to the present. They just said, child's play, a child is in the moment. The child is in the moment. The child's mind does not wander back. The child's mind stays present. The child is always learning. But yet with the adult tends to stop learning, criticizes themselves, makes it more difficult to have that open mind and that open heart to learn more information. And for those who are studying, there is this little voice, the ego, the subconscious mind that's there, that pulls forward from that filing cabinet all the information about what if, and I should have done this, and I should have done that, or this teacher taught me this, or someone treated me this way. I'll never achieve what I want to achieve. But with a child, it's different. In the child in a moment, a young child, they just said, the preschool, the pre-adolescence child, that child there is the child that has the mind that wants to expand, wants to learn, wants to grow. And they just said, what happened to that child within you? How did that child become squashed? In that child moment, you are learning, you're expanding, you have the passion for life.